The first value we're going to talk about is accountability. With respect to accountability, we're encouraging people to think through the questions that include who is responsible when AI systems make mistakes. In the city context, the first line of defense and the first line of asking questions and checking is, of course, the person who is in supervisory role for your work. Having clear chains of command of oversight and responsibility is absolutely essential. That said, you also need to feel as if you are accountable for what you do with AI. In order to encourage that AI be used with accountability in place, we've joined several entities in recommending that there be regular auditing and assessment of the use of AI in the field. This might seem pointless, for example, when you're using something as straightforward as spell check. Do we really need an audit of that? Maybe there are certain contexts in which audits are more or less important. Spell check might be on the less important side of things. We agree that it's important that there in general be a lot more information available about how certain AI systems, especially the more complex and invisible AI systems, operate, how they're actually working, and what the opportunities might be for you and people in your jobs would be to actually assess the outcomes of using AI in your particular context. That, after all, is what an audit does. We're encouraging that there be some regular moments when assessing AI and whether the AI is actually on track and doing what one anticipates, whether there are some unexpected outcomes are in place. So regular assessment is important. We're happy to see that many of the people working on these problems are alerting others at the procurement stage about the need to insist that there be some accountability checks on AI. Procurement can alert vendors during negotiations that there be some opportunity to do some auditing and some assessment in order to ensure that the AI practices and capabilities be a little bit more transparent. That's the value that I'm coming to momentarily. Finally, maintaining some human involvement in consequential decisions is really central to using AI in the workplace. We've already mentioned the predominance of risk language in a lot of official documents around using AI. Risk implies that there are some consequences here, and to the extent that we can have a human in the loop consistently evaluating should we use AI here rather than can we use AI here, this can help ensure that AI maintains its accountability. That includes maintaining some, again, assessment of the actual use and use outcomes of AI. Turning to the next slide, then, we'll talk a little bit about transparency, a second important value. Of course, everybody talks about making AI transparent, but let's face it, AI is rarely transparent. Only the very simplest algorithms are or can be immediately transparent to users. But it's important that at minimum, the city inform residents that AI systems are being used for certain applications, and that residents, people who are actually affected by AI or the use of AI, have some knowledge that it's in place and who to contact if there is some problem or if there's a question that residents might have in terms of what that AI system might be doing. The explainability of the algorithms and the decision-making processes are something that all of us, all of you as users and as city employees, have to shoulder some accountability for. To the extent that the systems themselves can be explainable, or that you can have some capability for insisting that the vendors or that the system you're using be explainable, or that you have the opportunity to explain to residents what your use of AI is, this can all kind of shore up the transparency value here. Above all of this entails some very open communication about the use of AI and some acknowledgement of its limitations. As we continue to acknowledge those limitations, we can begin to critically scrutinize whether the AI that you happen to be using is indeed giving you the results that you want and need, or whether it's drifting or emphasizing certain sorts of results at the expense of others. So transparency and accountability are really values that are twinned, and they need to imply certain very uh, critical practices of skepticism and analysis on your part. With that, we're going to move on to another value that is also embedded in transparency and accountability. That value is privacy.